Oh, Nation of Fit in 10. It's absolutely cooking in my house. Like, it's got to be 35 plus in here. I live in this house here, and it's poorly insulated. It's got tons of skylights, and the upstairs just gets smoking hot. Like, if I put on a shirt, I am literally soaked through it in 5 minutes. So I'm just like, I'm basically taking a cold shower every half an hour, at least since I've been home here, and that's about all I can do. So, and I'm gonna head out, but I'm just dripping in sweat. I'm just everywhere on my body is sweating. Anyways, my apologies for not wearing a shirt here, but seriously, it's just like there's no point. Okay. No myth today, probably tomorrow. I'm going to go through as many feedbacks as I can, so let's do that. Name something specific you can improve on for the following week. Switch to the next set of dumbbells by the end of the week. Okay, so I'm assuming you're using one set of dumbbells for all your exercises. So you may want to consider actually having I'm assuming you've got different dumbbell weights. You may want to consider having different weights for different exercises, right? You're going to be stronger on, let's say squats with dumbbells over, let's say, some curls that you're doing, So, keep this in mind, and maybe have all your dumbbells laid out, and, essentially go as heavy as you can with good technique, obviously, within the rep range that Martino wants you to do. And so just, use whatever weights, complement that. Okay, name something specific you need help with. The food posts are helpful for meal ideas for next week's food shop. Okay, are you talking about my food posts, or maybe the food? This is going back some time ago, so this is probably my food posts, or maybe this is some, or just food posts in general. Okay, I'll try to keep posting some. I recently posted a bunch of pictures from Alexandra in the challenge. She sent me, I get her sending me pictures of all her food, and I was really, really impressed. I would say if you look at those photos that I posted just recently, it was maybe like 3 or 4 days ago. If you look at the photos there, they're like, her meals are literally for almost 100% every meal is real whole food, with the exception of the protein powder, and maybe like a rice cake, but other than that, and those things are not far off, it's all real whole food. Like, she does a better job than I do. So kudos to her, and thank you for sharing. And you can see she's like, it's like fruits and vegetables, and some meat, some dairy, some protein powders, certain starches, yams, rice cakes. I mean, amazing, really, really well done. This is really ultimately what I like to see. All right. More feedbacks here. Okay. Okay. This person writes, name something specific you can improve on for the following week. Cooking here. Absolutely cooking. Wake up and sleep at a consistent time. I've been sleeping 30 minutes later than usual. Wake up and sleep at a consistent... I've been sleeping 30 minutes later than usual. Okay, so you're going to get up 30 minutes earlier, I'm assuming, right? This person did 7 resistance-based workouts last week. You did 7 workouts? Okay, that's a bit much, by the way. I mean, kudos to you. Obviously you're very motivated, but that is a bit much for this challenge. You might be pushing at the end here, but you don't want to burn out at the same time. Okay. Name something specific you need help with. Motivation. Really? You just did 7 workouts last week. Motivation. I find it hard to get up and do what I'm. Oh. ... Just kidding. Just seeing if I can get you worked up to talk about motivation for the 5th time. I'm plenty motivated. Yes, clearly you are with 7 workouts. That's not even including your cardio. I'm enjoying the challenge, knowing it's harder for a Fit in 10 repeater. Okay, so back to back, yes. You're not doing back to back. If you regressed quite a bit, So if you did the challenge and then you regressed quite a bit and some time went by and you come back to the challenge, it's not really harder for you, okay? What's hard is if you go challenge to challenge and you did really well in the previous challenge. That's where it gets really, really hard. Because it's all relative and you're going to plateau at some point. You can't just keep losing fat, right? I mean, once you've lost a lot of fat, you think you're going to keep losing fat? No, right? As you lose fat, any more fat that you lose, right, becomes a greater percentage, right? If you lose 1 pound of 30 pounds of fat, it's like whatever, 3% of your fat, right? A little bit over 3%. If you lose 1 pound of 10 pounds left, you lost 10 pounds, right? So it's not the same thing. So as you go along, the fat loss becomes harder in that way. Is there anything you'd like me to cover in this week's video series? How should I add challenge to my cardio? How should I add challenge? You want to make your cardio harder? Well, you could make it more intense. You could do more intervals. You could do something that is more full body involved, like burpees. You could certainly obviously increase the time that you're doing your cardio. But if I had to choose something here, if you wanted to add challenge, I would probably put in something that's more resistance based. So movement with more resistance. And then try to increase your heart rate even more, okay? If the cardio is not challenging enough for you. I guess I should finish reading the question. I am running 5K with 30 minutes, added some extra intervals, changed the routes, added some different inclines. Okay, that's helpful. You could go to a field and really do some sprints uphill, okay? And I say field because, like if you go to QE, there are some inclined areas with on the grass, and that's just going to be easier on your joints and everything. That's what I would try, okay, if you're going running. Okay, name something specific. So, new person here. Name something specific you can improve on for the following week. There's one meal that I tend to cheat every week. For the next week, I'm going to work on meeting my macros for every single meal. Yeah, I think I mentioned to you guys, I cut out the one cheat meal. I'm still giving myself a couple extra 100 calories on this one day in one meal, and it's all good food. Like, basically I'm having some extra eggs and some extra toast. That's pretty much it. But just by doing this, I cut out, my cheat meals kind of vary, right? So I was basically giving myself a free meal, eat pretty much as much as I want in an hour or two. Which was turning out to be 2,000 to 3,000 calories. Since I dropped that 2 weeks ago, my weight, which I take every morning, is actually, this morning after 2 weeks, it was down. So let me just back up here. Every Saturday is my lowest day. Why is every Saturday my lowest day? Because I cheat meal a week prior to that, right? So I basically chew through that cheat meal, right? That 2,500 calories I chew through every day. So my weight, goes down and down and down. Then when I have that one cheat meal, my weight would jump up, like 3 pounds, and then I would chew away through that through the week. But now I'm not doing that. So now when I woke up, yesterday, my weight was 1.5 pounds down from the previous Saturday morning. So that is, and all I've changed, I haven't added any cardio, I haven't changed my calories. The only thing I changed was, and I didn't even sleep super long that night. Like, I slept like 7.5 hours. All I changed was I removed the one cheat meal, which is, again, that's like 2,500 calories. It's basically, I almost removed 1 day of calories out of my diet. Okay, so I'm just saying, if you guys do this, you can follow your diet to a T, 100% to a T. Then give yourself one full-blown cheat meal a week, and everything goes off the rails. I'm telling you, for those of you who are having problem losing weight, be very, very careful with your numbers. Is there anything you'd like me to cover in this week's video series? Do you continue to push your body to work out even when you're sick? Or do you take a few days to... I feel like I read this one already. I feel like somebody asked me this, only was the exact same words. I don't know. Maybe I read this one, but it didn't show that I read it. Okay, anyways. No, take some days off. Okay, just take some days off. When I was younger, I think I told you guys, I used to not take time off, even if I was sick and throwing up. Literally, I did not. I wouldn't do that now. Okay, I would just rest and just take the time off. I'm literally just soaked in sweat. Additional comments or questions? How am I doing for time here? 10 minutes. Wow. Okay. I felt like a blob this past week because I was not feeling well. I wasn't able to push myself to the max. I feel like I wasted a week. My cardio struggled as well. Aside from not feeling well this time of the month really put me back. I feel like being a meal is challenging. Yeah, I already read this. My apologies. Christ. Sorry, didn't mean to offend anybody there. Can I get through one more here? Name something specific to me. So, new person here. Name something specific you can improve upon for the following week. At the end of the day, I had literally no energy. In lieu of cardio, I've been going for walks. My joints still not up for running and really don't want to be inside my apartment in a billion degrees doing HIIT. I agree with you 100%. I wonder if your apartment's actually as hot as my place. I hope not. I need some suggestions on cardio activities that are low impact. Okay, I already went through this a couple videos ago. I swear I probably answered this question too. Maybe you re-asked this question because I was behind though, because I'm in new territory right now. So, again, outside QE Park, hill sprints on, okay, it doesn't even have to be a sprint per se. It could even just be like a faster jog or whatever. Up a grass hill. Again, when you're running up and then your feet are hitting, like you're on an incline, right? So the impact is so much less because those steps are so little, right? So it's way easier. Like put it this way, I can't run with my knee. I can't go outside and run. It'll really mess my knee up. But I can go do it on a field, no problem. So incline runs on a grass field, that's what I'm gonna recommend to you. It's outside as well. You can find some shaded areas, QE Park. I think that would be super helpful for you. So my current issues, name something specific you need help with. So my current issues have been terrible sleep because I'm having to get up 3 or 4 times a night to go pee. Tell me about it. I do this too. Likely, yes, drinking more water in the day and probably too much information. That's okay. But I do have a history of kidney disease associated with autoimmune disease. I don't try to drink a lot of water in the evening, but this is a thing I'm finding is affecting my energy throughout the day and possibly getting worse. The not sleeping for me to pee so much. Are you able to suggest hydration salts or some other way to keep liquid in and not have to pee so much at night? I even tried some salty popcorn the other night in the name of science to try to redistribute that water, but it didn't seem to help as I needed to go pee 4 times a night. Okay, so if you increase your salt, yeah, you can tend to hold a little more water, but also your body's going to try to rid that salt as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. In this case, what I was just doing is trying to drink more water, but earlier in the day. So just don't drink so much water at night. So for example, if you drink the majority of your water from the time you get up till about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and then you just, you restrict a little bit more, you should not have to pee 3 or 4 times a night. I have to pee 3 or 4 times a night. Sometimes, well, probably not more than 4. But I tend to go right back to bed. I fall right back asleep. In your case, it doesn't sound like that's happening. So, but just don't keep drinking water all the way up to, bedtime. Okay, try to drink a little bit less, definitely less, from let's say 1 or 2 p.m. I don't know when you go to bed. Let's assume you go to bed at 10 p.m. So give yourself a good 6 hours. So, restrict your water from 4 p.m. onwards. Okay, this should make a difference. You should not have to go pee. I will tell you that I didn't drink a lot of water. Personally, I didn't drink a lot of water. It's weird that we're reading this question right now because last night was the first night I only got up twice to go to the washroom, and I just didn't drink as much water. Probably the heat too. I was sweating a bit. I was sweating more, so I'm excreting water that way. But I didn't really drink that much water from what time was it basically? From pretty much teaching class. This was on Friday night. From teaching class to so 5 p.m. I went to bed 10:30. So that made a big difference for me. Okay, just hold your water in earlier in the day. Okay, 14 minutes here. This is ridiculous. I've lost complete track of time. Let's get to the message of the day. Your potential, your absolute best you're capable of. that is the metric to measure yourself against. Remember, anyone can win, but not everyone is the best possible version of themselves. So, sometimes people are trying to measure themselves against other people. Ultimately, I just want you to measure yourself against what you're currently doing and if you can get better at this. I actually had a conversation with somebody just the other day. This person's doing exceptionally well in the challenge. They've lost so much weight that they're like, I'm good. Like, I don't want to lose more weight. Okay, I'm not going to say how much this person lost, but they've lost, they are doing ridiculously well. Well, there's actually a number of people in this challenge that are doing that, but this particular person's like, I think I'm good. I don't need to lose more. My point here is that you got to, I think I've talked about this before, this is really you versus you. This is not you versus anybody else. It shouldn't really be, because ultimately you're always probably going to find somebody who, for whatever reason, you believe they lose fat more easier than you, and maybe they do, or you think they have an easier time, or they have something you want, or just something like that, right? But ultimately you have to look at this as you versus you, and just try to be the best possible version of yourself. And ask yourself at the same time, are you applying your best effort? Are you applying your best effort, okay? Given all the circumstances, because I don't know what's going on in your life, but are you or could you apply more of yourself? And this might just help to motivate you, okay? Push you a little bit more, okay? Ask yourself, are you doing your best, okay? Could you do better? Maybe you don't have to do your best, but could you do better, right? Don't measure yourself against anybody else. Don't measure yourself in terms of how well you're doing in this challenge or not well. Just ask yourselves, could we do better? Okay, let's focus on that. That's all I'm going to say. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude. I'll talk to you very soon. Enjoy the heat. See you guys. It's supposed to be hot tomorrow.